Thank you for your interest in the Kerrville ISD's redistricting process for the Trustee Single Member Districts. We will start with a review of the electoral system for KISD, explain why this redistricting is needed, review the requirements and considerations for drawing trustee maps, share when new trustee maps will take effect, and share a proposed plan for new member district maps. You will also have an opportunity to submit your input at the conclusion of this video. Before we get into that information, it is important to clarify that KISD is only changing the single member district boundaries used for trustee elections. There will be no impact on any of our school boundaries. The maps being discussed are only for the ballot box and not for determining school attendance. KISD is governed by a school board that represents 7 single member districts. Each trustee serves a 3-year term. Elections take place in May. Trustees do not have to reside in the district they represent. Voters can only vote in the single member district in which they reside. The Texas Education Code requires a school district to redistrict if data shows existing single member districts have a population deviation of more than 10% between the most and least populous districts. Census data, gathered every 10 years, is what is used to determine those population changes. On the screen is a chart of our current single-member districts with the 2020 census total population. Single-member District 3, as it exists today, is now the most populous district, and District 1 is the least populous. The deviation between the two of these districts is 26.1%, so redistricting is needed to balance the single-member districts as required by the Texas Education Code. Let's review how we calculated the 26.1% deviation. Here is the 2020 census data for each of our single-member districts. The law firm that performed the initial assessment calculated an ideal size of our single-member districts by taking our total population within the KISD boundaries from the 2020 census and divided that by 7, the number of single-member districts. That resulted in an ideal size of 5,130 per trustee district. To determine the deviation, we looked at how much larger our most populous single-member district, District 3, is compared to our ideal size district. Then we looked at how much smaller our least populous single-member district, District 1, is compared to the ideal size. This range represents the deviation between our most and least populous single-member districts. That's how we arrived at a deviation of 26.1%. Now that we've established that redistricting is needed, let's review the requirements and considerations for drawing trustee maps. Texas Education Code outlines some requirements for drawing maps. Single-member districts must be compact and contiguous. This means that the single-member districts cannot be divided in parts and cannot overlap one another. Exactly equal population is not required, but we should be nearly as practicable of equal population. And single-member districts must be drawn not later than the 90th day before the first regular school board election at which you are able to act on the federal census data. Our Board of Trustees also established some additional considerations for drawing single-member district maps. Identifiable geographic boundaries for SMD boundaries were used when possible, such as roads. We also sought to maintain communities of interest, such as neighborhoods, when possible. We also sought to preserve existing single-member district boundaries to the degree possible. Once new maps are approved by the board, they will take effect immediately for the May 2022 election. Trustees in all single-member districts will serve their new districts until their term date ends. Trustees' terms in Districts 6 and 7 end in May of 2022. Trustees' terms in District 2 and 5 end in May of 2023. Trustees' terms in District 1, 3, and 4 end in May of 2024. Now we will share a proposal for new single-member district maps, which was prepared with the required criteria. On the screen is a side-by-side comparison of the outgoing single-member district maps as it currently exists and the new map under Plan 1. These maps are also posted on our website at www.kerrvilleisd.net/page/256. Let's look at Plan 1. Each single-member district is color-coded. This proposal more evenly balances the population between each district. Under Plan 1, the deviation between the most and least populous single-member district is reduced to 9.4%, less than the required 10% deviation in the Education Code. Here is a QR code linked to a survey where you can indicate your support and feedback on Plan 1 by Monday, January 17, 2022. We are seeking community input to take back to the Board of Trustees to assist in their adoption of a final map. The survey will include links to the proposed maps. We appreciate your participation in this important process. This video, a link to our proposed map survey, and other information is available on the KISD website. The survey will be open through Monday, January 17, 2022. There will be a community redistricting meeting at the Tybee Administration Building on Wednesday, January 19th at 6 p.m. The KISD Board of Trustees will approve a final plan on January 24th, 2022. Thank you for your time.